Now, PracticeDock has some great tools, but one that I'm going to talk about specifically that have used very well over the past couple of years is our call tracking. The PracticeDock is essentially yet another, and I call this more publicity than I do marketing or advertising. It's somebody else, once again, saying just how well your practice is doing. It allows not only to contact the leads, but also helps me to train my staff. And how I talk to my business administrator and my staff, there's that old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Well, let's kind of talk about where we are in that whole equation, if you will. The horse, of course, is our clients, and there's a bunch of people, a bunch of clients roaming out there on our pasture. The call tracking, the PracticeDock will bring them to water. And I think that's the one of the things that we want to have. But more importantly, are we bringing them to water? We want to let them know that the water is cool and it is refreshing. And this is how PracticeDock allows you to go to that profile and lets that potential client know that that it is definitely a refreshing treat to come to Cape Fear Aesthetics. We position ourselves as experts. And once again, we are providing them great knowledge and information to allow them to make the decision to hopefully come on in and partake of our services. As I said before, PracticeDock has been a great complement to our website. Once again, it allows us for more opportunities to get our names out there. When I first started with them, we saw a significant improvement on our SEO. We're falling in on the first page, especially with our competition, and that's whether or not you have little competition or no competition or a lot of competition. It did provide us, and we were able to measure where we were landing in the SEO searches, especially using with the new algorithms with Google. We are still seeing a nice response with that. There is no question that we are visual providers. We're surgeons. We are folks who essentially do things to make a result. And so before and after pictures are vital to the mission. One of the policies, of course, that we have done more on a regular basis is we ask them, especially when they're coming in for their 2-week follow-up, they're getting great after pictures after their rhinoplasty, they're feeling good, they're much more willing at that particular time to share their testimonies. And so we let them know, in the beginning that if they're interested, we'll be talking to them later. But you want to catch them while they're on that feel good, so to speak. Collecting the patient reviews is fantastic. It allows us to track. It allows us not to fall through any cracks, but also is going to allow my administrator to see just how well my concierge are getting back to those folks. The virtual tour we talk about, I think, is an awesome opportunity, once again, to help publicize your surroundings. They want to get that wow factor as they're looking through slides, as they're going through a virtual tour, whether it's one that's done by PracticeDock and PracticeDock or one that you have already done. The special offers and promotions, those, once again, are always able to draw attention to the client. Once again, we're talking about attracting new clients, not necessarily a client that you already have. Financing options are key. It is a matter of presenting the procedure. You can have your facial rejuvenation procedure for as low as X amount a month for 0% financing. The ease of which you can have it done. The simple fact that, hey, after we get off the phone, that please, if you're not too sure how you want to consider payment, you can go to Care Credit and go ahead and get those pre-approvals. So when you do come into the office, you're much better prepared to, once again, for that, more or less that client to be prepared to go ahead and put down a deposit and reserve a spot. Also, by putting great tags on those before and afters or for your practice slides, this is once again gives you a great opportunity to improve your ranking and SEO optimization. Here is an example just of ours at Cape Fear Aesthetics, where we've done our Google virtual tour. We have noticed an increase in hit on that. Also understand that people are so inquisitive. Once they get on the tour, they're staying on longer. It improves your time per page if you're looking at your Google Analytics. And what we did was I will give a great tip. You may have seen them before in restaurants or other large communities where they just do a panoramic view and it's kind of empty. We actually staged each room to have a procedure going on. So as you go through our tour, you will see that essentially they'll go in past the rooms and somebody's getting a laser hair removal. One of them is getting a hair transplant. Another is getting a consultation for physician-supervised weight loss. Another is having a microdermabrasion done. Another one's getting something done by our cool sculpting room. And so it allows the potential client to put themselves in that position of the happy customer that's getting staged versus just showing a bunch of empty rooms, because Google has some restrictions on what you can do. They will kind of fade out the faces, so to speak. You can ask them not to fade yours out because you're, of course, the owner as well. But give it a try, see what we've done with it, and hopefully it'll spur some ideas for you guys as well. The unique call tracking numbers are 1-800 numbers. At first, I just thought it was, hey, that's a really nice ego kind of kick. We got a 1-800 number. But more importantly, over the past several years, we've used this to facilitate a couple of things. One, as you can use multiple numbers for multiple campaigns. So let's say that you will put a 1-800 number on your social media. Because this is a trackable service, and we'll talk to you about that in a little bit, we can see what kind of calls that we're getting based on where we're putting these numbers, and to see if there's an increase in the calls that are coming in, whether we put it a 1-800 number on our newsletter, a tweet, sharing it with at a particular event. All of those things that you can do to help track your ROI. The other great thing is we are able to record all the phone calls that come in on this 1-800 number. But let's talk about how valuable that is and what we may be missing a point with. The phone calls that we track, especially for my new concierge, it allows us to provide them with what I call game film, just like we were looking at a post-football game. We allow them to listen to themselves, and we ask them, well, where are the things, would you critique yourself? The flow, the content, did we go through some of the script? What are the things that you left out on? So it is not so much using this particular recorded phone call as you did the wrong thing. Let's talk to you about how good you did and where we need to improve. But they get to essentially hear themselves. Every once in a while, we'll bring in a recorded phone call to my staff meeting that may have a client who is dissatisfied or the difficult client. We play that, and we go around the room and we create a scenario. Okay, how are we going to respond to this? What is our issue? But even more importantly, you can also use this to defend your great staff. Many of us have gotten the same thing over and over. By the time the client gets into the office and we're talking to them, I get the, oh, your staff was rude. And the first thing I do is I say, no, they weren't, because I know my staff. Now, there was a time and place where I wasn't that sure about my staff or my continued training. So if this call is recorded, you have the opportunity to actually listen to the call if the front desk or your concierge think that there's going to be an issue, or your business manager, of course, even better. And so once again, they can go over that, point out the shortcomings that we may have on our part, but more importantly, we can say, all in all, you did a pretty good job. And now it's up to us as business administrators and owners where we're going to keep that difficult patient, or we're going to let them go. So I think that there is, a great opportunity for us for training, retraining, and once again protecting our companies. A bad call, or if the concierge is not positioned the physician correctly, nothing is worse than on the other end as a potential customer of any sort, where you get the person says, well, I just been here for a short time, I don't know. Well, in our minds as a potential consumer, we're very quickly thinking incompetency. So the retraining of your concierge, your patient advisors, your client care coordinators, whatever we're calling them, this is once again a great tool for us to continue to mystery shop them, allows them to hear their voice, their pitch, their speed, and then once again to the tracking is actually amazing. And here's just a what looks like a report. And also PracticeDock has the opportunity to set up an email so that you'll think about it once again at the end of the month when they review and they tabulate what you've done. You can send it to yourself, your office manager, and you can see just how many of these individuals have come in, many leads, phone tracking. It also gives them the opportunity for your front desk staff to, if they are calling back, they can check them off. These names are very easily integrated even before they come into your practice management software. We happen to use NextTech. It allows us to track them essentially from the time they come in, their contact. We're able to put in a referral source so that essentially the end of the year, the month, the quarter, we can see what kind of return investment that we had on these particular leads, and it makes it very easy for us to generate those. This is one of my favorite reports. If you go over here on the left where you have the two dials, I had them show some things that would be a little bit concerning. You can see that on this particular lead, it took 4 days for the front desk person to open this lead. Now, what's going on? Did it come in on a 4-day weekend? Is somebody not checking these on a routine basis, whatever your policy or procedure is? Somebody needs to be looking at this in the morning and in the afternoon when they close. And more importantly, on average, has there been a run? Unfortunately, we can see that over a set time period that there was 10 days before lead gets open. We all know that if somebody is putting in very vital information of their demographics, their email address, their phone number, they'd like to hear from us pretty quickly. If you can get the contact within an hour because there's a pop-up of an instant message at your front desk, fantastic. You want to get to them, of course, within 24 hours. If it's over the weekend, well, hey, that lead may not be open up for 2 days, but at least you have some objective evidence. And more importantly, even in one of our examples, we had a concierge that went out on leave, and the responsibility was delegated. Well, we were able to, go back in and let that person who got the information delegated to them that, hey, they're slipping, so, we just want to let you know we're watching you. To be able to track your leads from where they came from, I think that at least in this particular population is fantastic. Like I said, we use other items like social media, email marketing, and then you can essentially get your return on investment of your per your lead cost per lead. More importantly, for me, that was not such a big concern. I wanted to know that, hey, if I spent $1 with PracticeDock, or any other particular tool, what was my return on my investment? And I can honestly tell you that I've got anywhere from 15 to 20-fold return on my investment using the call tracking and PracticeDock. So we've been very pleased with this particular tool. And then the other thing is it allows you and your business administrator to set goals. With your also, and these goals, of course, can be related to your front desk, your client care coordinators, and essentially, as long as we have a clear vision, we've got some clear goals, and allows you an opportunity to reward them, come bonus time, come report card time, and things of that nature. So we're really, really pleased for that. But, once again, do not get caught up with all these other tools, whether it's Google Analytics, whether it's PracticeDock, other reports. You do not want to have a paralysis through analysis, as you've probably heard before. But, once again, look at that report that's going to allow you to make a decision. Do not generate a report. Do not order a lab value if it's not going to change your decision process. But I can tell you that we've been very pleased, and we've been able to control our call tracking with our PracticeDock. Here's a contact page. You're more than willing to contact me. I don't consider myself an expert in any means of running a practice. I want to consider myself very good at how I run my particular practice. It's been able to grow by educating my office manager through the webinars that PracticeDock has actually put out, which has been fantastic. You can email me at this address, entfacebot@gmail.com. And of course, Jennifer has been an outstanding resource, as well as the rest of the PracticeDock and LocatedDock team. I wanted to thank them once again for providing me an opportunity just to share hopefully a pearl or two with you and your office administrator, and that I hope you will give Jennifer some great feedback on not only this webinar, but as well as some of those topics that you'd like to have discussed. And good luck to you and yours. And you guys have a great day, and we'll be looking forward to talking with you a little bit more.